This may interest you. He was a very, very aggressive farmer from the standpoint that he bred registered brown Swiss cows, heifers, and bulls. This was in 1944, towards the end of the war, and he sold boars and gilts. Well, this is the same. And I think if you look in there, it'll say what the money value was. And so he was very, this appeared in this newspaper here, in the New Bremen Sun. And then what year can you see that there?
1919.
Okay, in 1919, the newspaper was in German and the ads were in English. This Ben Wierwille was a very aggressive farmer.
This would have been when he went out as a farmer. October 30th, the war was still on.
Yeah.
And so this is when he ended his farming days.
I don't think he moved to town yet, but that's when he kind of ended.
That's when he sold it, because look at all
his animals.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he had registered animals. And not everybody had registered
and
animals.
And they've been doing
at
it
that
since
day.
1909.
Okay, so we almost ought to have a light, but I think that says Ben Wierwille, and this was a cream can. And one of the first major incomes for farmers here that had milk was that they would have separators, and then they would sell that cream to make butter. And we had a creamery here, and that's where the Legion went in. There's all that information about that. There's the creamery. And then they would have what they called skim milk. Well, then they would have pigs, baby pigs, and that milk was the greatest feed to fatten out pigs.
Sure.
And then they would go for slaughter. And then in the meantime, almost every farm here had chickens, pigs, and they milked 10 cows. And they did that for decades and decades. And then finally, they got more specialized, and then you expanded. They went into the chicken farm, or else they went to 40 cows, 50 cows, and that type of thing. But the farm women at that point in time never worked for 100 years, and then they would look after the chickens and keep the egg money. And then eggs were one of the first things back in the 1800s to take in and trade for other commodities and things at a store or something.